few of the games in the second half here, we had to play a good amount of time without a six or with five defensemen.
We're getting used to that. That's happening a lot.
How exactly have you guys managed that? What with Oz? What is the dialogue in determining who gets a little bit more, who you have to?
Yeah, it's a feel from Oz for sure. The benefit is the ability to play different pairs together for as the season goes along. I think it's helped us. The good thing is as well, we've been put in that situation enough that there's no panic when it does happen. And it's just, they're ready to do it. Unfortunately, I'd say Tischke and Linhart both accept the most extra minutes when it does happen. So on the second night, you always worry a little bit about them wearing down, but obviously Jake had enough energy to jump into play in the overtime period to get that goal. So they've battled through it. Our D, early in the year when we were giving up goals and shots against everyone, the concern was our D, and all we said is if we think we got good D, we just got to keep improving, and I think they've done that. They really have as a group. And when you go down to 5D, you have to be more responsible from a forward perspective. One of the things you have to do way better is manage the puck. You can't have turnovers in neutral zone where your D gets stuck either trying to change or get caught on a long shift. That's really important. If you get 5D and you get stuck out there for a couple long shifts, it wears you down fast. So our forwards had to take on some of that responsibility about being smarter. I thought as the game went on, obviously Matt Drusik on Saturday was really good for us early. Gave us a chance to kind of get going, especially we did in the third period. I thought we played a great third period Saturday. And obviously they were able to tie us up late, but our D group has been, since that was a question, our D group with 5 has been really solid for us.
Tony, I know it was your hope, but how realistic was it when you began here that you would come into this stretch ranked after a long stretch on the road with an opportunity to get the crowds that you wanted here at the Kohl Center, to get the attention that you wanted at the Kohl Center? Did any of that factor into your thinking here in the last couple of weeks?
I think looking back on it, our first practice together as a group, when I saw the energy and I saw some of the skill we had, I saw a bunch of hungry players that, were in the mindset of, hey, let's figure out how to make something good of this. And did I think it would play out the way it has played out? Probably not, but I was optimistic that, we put a goal on at the start of the year to get to a certain place. And we've been on track really since day one to do that. We've improved each and every week in different areas. So we're not done. We can't look at it right now and say, okay, let's celebrate. We're where we're at, or we're ahead of where we're scheduled to be. We got work to do, and this has been a hungry group all year. This challenge that we get coming up, like we talk every week, a new challenge. What is it? So we can't focus on anything past that or anything that happened behind us. We got to focus on Penn State in this week's attention to detail and practice to get ready for Penn State. They'll throw some things different at us that we haven't seen yet. They've been a number 1 ranked team for they were just a few weeks ago. They're top 10 pretty much all year. So this is another big challenge, and it's one that our group again looks forward to these opportunities. And you mentioned something about the building, and the fans coming back in bigger crowds. That's what this program is. It's one that should have, a packed house. It should have the energy, every night. And fortunately, our team's played well enough to deserve that. And that's certainly a reward because of what the players have put into it.
On Trent Frederick, we see what he does with goals and assists. What are the intangibles? Yes. Yeah, the things that you might see.
He's got a lot of them.
That not a lot would.
His penalty killing ability, his strength on the middle of the ice of defensively being in the right position, his strength on the puck. He makes his line mates better. He sees the game extremely well. He can slow it down when he needs to. He can speed it up when he needs to. He's a workhorse. He probably I didn't see the total number of minutes, but from a forward's perspective or position, I'm sure he had the most this weekend. So he's on the ice for big face-offs, big penalty killing situations, power plays, first minute and last minute of every period. He's just for an 18-year-old kid. He's just a remarkable hockey player. He's a competitor. he wants to get better. He's hungry to get better. He's a sponge for absorbing information on what he needs to do. So if you make an adjustment or you tell him this is, how to play this situation, he's got it. He'll never have to be on him again about it. So he's had a phenomenal year. I think his strength too is his ability to understand. I want to get better. I want to improve each and every weekend, and he's grown as a player, similar to the way our team has as the years gone along.
It's obviously a long time to go in the season without seeing a team in Penn State. How difficult does that make it, especially with a team like the Nittany Lions?
Well, Penn State, I just got done watching their games against Minnesota. And college hockey's built on work ethic and competitiveness and teams that, on any given night can beat you. The difference is they got some skill to be mixed in with that work ethic that they built themselves or their reputation or how they play it. So I think they're a grinding team from the standpoint that they're very simple from lines 1 to 4 on how they play. I think they'll challenge us in our defensive zone on how aggressive they are at getting pucks to the net. I think for us, our challenge will be to not let them get to their game and to make them have to defend against what we do well. I think the first 35, 40 minutes of the Friday night game in the Michigan State series, we were able to do that. We established our game and frustrated Michigan State, and I think that's how we won the series, was how we started the series. So there was some different parts of Saturday's game that were kind of their favor, then back to us, then back to them. That was a little bit inconsistent, but for the most part, the series was established on how we got to our game early in that series. So that'll be really important on Friday night. The 2 Minnesota games in here a couple weeks back, we waited to see how Minnesota was going to play before we started to play, and it put us in a big hole. So it'll be important for us Friday night to be ready for the start, to establish what our game is. And our game is a forecheck game. Our game is a game where we stay on the attack and we don't retreat, and that's the way we'll try and play on Friday and Saturday.
Tony, during the football season, the school of thought that if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one was put out there. Is there any way that applies to your goaltending situation?
Well, that's interesting because not a lot of elite teams in football or in hockey would have that kind of situation. Ours has played out similar to the way the football team has played out. They've both been outstanding. I think the rotation on how we've done it, they both have handled that well and staying ready for one game a weekend. Starting goalies, usually like to play more to get more of a rhythm, but this rhythm has worked out well for them. So we got a luxury. I mean, this is a great situation to have, and both of them were big and really all our wins in the past 4 weeks. They've been as solid as they've been all year. So I think it is comparable to the football situation. It's a little different because they went in and out of games, and obviously for our situation, it's going to be one's going to play one and one's going to play the next night. But it's been a good one. I haven't been a coach or part of a team that has had an alternating situation like this, so this is something new for me. I never had it as a player either. We always had a starter and you always had a backup. But our situation right now with how they played, they both deserve to be starters, and we'll continue this one.
You've had Frederick and Cunnin together for a while or rotated someone else on the wing with them. Has anyone stood out to you there as a guy you would stick with for a longer amount of time if other things don't work out?
The more I coach this team, the more I like the flexibility of being able to play different players with different lines. I think that's been a strength. I think that's been I think our players, and what we've tried to do is make them each complementary to each other no matter who they're on the ice with. I think that's why in the situations with the D pairings, when you go to 5 and you got to have all different pairings, nobody's uncomfortable. Everybody knows what everybody's responsibilities are, and I think the same thing has happened from a forward position. So Cameron's been in and out of that slot. Wags has been up there. Zimmer's been up there. Ustaski's was up there for some shifts. I like the flexibility as a coach to have different options. I think it paid off in the Michigan State game as well. and we're going to continue to do that. So what you see in practice today might not be what we start with on Friday.
Do you know any more about Tim Davison?
No, he won't be on the ice today with us. He's going to do some off ice stuff to loosen it up. It's possible he'll go skate on his own on the other sheet of ice. I'm optimistic he'll be ready to play Friday. Obviously, he's going to have to progress the way we hope he will. But we'll know more, as we get through the day and later in the week. But I think he'll be ready to play. I think it's more of a bruise than anything else. And he's made progress in the last 2 days. He's getting around much better than he did on Saturday morning. So hopefully he'll be ready to go this weekend.
Jason Ford's still in the same
Jason Ford's going to skate
situation?
today. He'll be in practice today. How much contact we'll put him in, we'll see. But he'll be on the ice. He had a hard workout this morning, and he'll be, we'll see how he progresses during the week to see his availability for the weekend.
Greg Gard has talked about it. Bo used to do it before in basketball. The goal was to win a Big Ten championship. Where's that as far as the list of goals that your team might have in the locker room or what you talk about?
Yeah, and really, we haven't talked about any long-term goals. Our way of doing this season has been week to week and day to day. We want to improve faster than the other teams improve. And so we talk about being quick learners. We talk about what's in front of us and how are we going to get better today. So if you do that stuff and you take care of the day-to-day things, the end of the year things will all play out as best they can. I think that's the best. I think if you look past it and you try to look too far out, obviously it would be something we would be it's there for us. We've positioned ourselves to have a chance at it, and that's what you want at this point of the season. And but we can't get caught up with this is how we're going to win the Big Ten. We have to do this, that, and the other thing. We just got to worry. We got a great competitor coming up in Penn State this weekend, and this is a big weekend for us. We talked about the Minnesota one. We're going to have a full house in the building or close to it. Let's show the people what kind of team we have so they come back. I think they're going to come back with what they saw against Minnesota. And that's what we wanted to do. That was one of the things as the weeks went along. Let's keep getting more people in the building. Let's get the energy back in here. Let's get the people, Madison, behind us. This is how we're going to do it. And we're to that point now. And I think with what they've seen and how we've positioned ourselves, the fans have been happy on where we're at. And we'll continue to try and get better each and every week.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.